over the place.
No, my parents come into town. I'll go to church with them just to make them happy, but, I can't. I just can't do it.
I like
But, at the same time, you feel kind of left out.
Yeah, well, that's how it is.
And my other question to you is, should we not be doing more, as far as our independence from the system? I mean, I don't hear anybody recommending, hey, let's go, buy a cabin in the woods or do that kind of thing. But you see things in Zacharias, saying at that time they're going to be calling every man under his own vine and fig tree. In other words, probably. I mean, here I am stuck in a city working for an airline.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst thing.
I would definitely have, if I lived in the city, I live in a 3-horse town here, 2-horse town.
Yeah.
I would definitely try to prepare a place ahead of time to go when you need to get out of the city. To have some place that you can go. Somewhere off in the mountains, in the woods someplace.
Yeah.
To have a plan of someplace
I think
you
you're
can
right. And I think we should be talking more about, us people getting together and unifying in some sense and saying, hey, this is how we're going to get independent from the system.
Yeah.
And
there was a town in Colorado that was trying to do that, and they bombed them about 6 months ago or so.
Yeah.
And the government sends out these messages, and they try to instill fear and make people...
No, they don't want that because they don't want people falling off their grid of taxpayers.
Exactly. And, install fear and make people like us look cultish and clannish. And, that's the only way you're going to survive in these last days, other than the Lord himself picking you up, putting you somewhere to protect you, is getting into a community, getting with others, and being prepared to leave the cities.
Well, that's probably my two problems is I have this one sense where I say, well, the Lord's going to take care of us.
Yeah, but you can't fall off the cliff into dum-dum after that. But the Lord's going to take care of me. Well, he's already told you to prepare to be as the ant, and who prepares for the winter time.
That's right, and and also I have this intuition. Hey, I got to get the heck out of here.
Yeah, he will lead your thoughts if you ask him to lead and guide your thoughts, because every person is different. He's not going to tell. Everybody has a different situation to deal with.
Right.
Everybody's city might not be bombed before they go, or he calls.
Yeah, and two, I'm a widowed, putting my last daughter through college. So I figured, well, she's got 2 more years. I'll do 2 more years.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
You just ask the Lord to guide your thoughts on what to do. 2 years from now, it just sounds killer to me. I mean.
Yeah.
I just, so exhausted as it is. And
yeah, no, it's not looking too great.
Yeah, are we going to hold out 2 years the same way we are today?
Yeah.
Without, being in martial law, without being in an alien invasion, without being in war?
Yeah.
I mean, what's 2 years from today? A lot of things could happen. Especially the worst crap hitting the fan years are 2007 to 2010. And those are really going to be the grunge years, if you ask me.
Right.
And so now we have a little bit of leeway it's 2005, it's still a setup year. Planet X coming in, going to cause a lot of destruction, a lot of war setups. When does, World War III actually going to hit? When's is this the July? The alien invasion's coming. It's kind of like a setup year. And I said it last year for 2004. It was a setup year. 2007 to 2010 are really going to be the grunge years. The fight to survive years.
Right.
And so...
well, as Jesus said, he who endures to the end, that doesn't mean just by killing our physical bodies, but I think it does mean we got to start doing.
Yeah,
well,
a lot of it is
preparation.
He's talking about, a lot of people are going to be persecuted. Christians don't think they're going to be persecuted here in the United States, and they've got a rude awakening coming.
Because of the rapture myth.
Yeah. A Pauline doctrine.
We're going to escape all this, and all you other guys. There's reason to believe that it's going to be a reverse rapture, and God will take the bad people out of the world. Well,
he does say that, but you know what? That's at the end of the age. That's after he comes, when the bad people are lifted off the earth. We have so much to go before we get there.
I think you're right.
And that's totally towards the end of the whole period. And what they do is they misinterpret, misconstrue everything, and put everything out of timelines. And I'm a timeline-oriented person because I'm a literalist, and I take the books literally.
No, everybody that's gone on to a time, it's going to happen on this date and all.
I don't do dates because the Lord doesn't do dates. He does not do dates. And when I hear somebody say, "The Lord told me on July that," no, it's not him. He does not do dates.
Yep.
And that's the first mark of hearing a false prophecy.
No, I agree.
He does not do dates. And because I laugh with him all the time. He always has this soon thing going, and he knows I hate hearing that word, soon. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. What's soon compared, your soon or my soon? And we go back and forth, and you get to the point where you can feel comfortable doing, with your relationship with him and laughing and joking with him and stuff. And he's not going to hit you over the head. But yeah, when I hear dates, it just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
And
no, you're right. We could be thinking, in fact, a date popped into my head years ago, probably 20 years ago, 2012.
Well, that's the Hopi date. That's another one a lot of people
date,
follow.
But I didn't even know that at the time.
And that's the time
at the same time, I can't believe every concoction of my often.
Well, 2012 would be the time that everything's basically over. So if you backtrack 7 years, it probably had to be starting this year, September 2005. If you're going by a 7-year period. If you just go by the last half, a 3.5-year period, a 42-month period, then it would be around 2009, 2008.
And you can't even believe that with the way things are, they could even last that long.
Yeah, and every time we think it's going to hit now, we end up being in a stalled and delayed period. We go a couple months with nothing happening, but a terrorist attack here or there. Because one faction lost their window of opportunity to do something, and so it swings back to the other one. And so there's a lot of that going on. He's told me we're out of time, Yeah. And so whatever happens, he has told me once it starts to happen, it's going to happen like a flood. Bang, 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 instantly. Everything's going to happen like a flood once it starts. It's going to happen quick. People aren't going to know what's hitting them. And so once it does happen, there's going to be no more lulls and delays like that we feel like we have now. July isn't over. July's always been a dominant month for an alien invasion, UFO invasion. It's not over yet. And they couldn't get up there to close that Lion's Gate, and so we very well could have Matria appearing here, this Mavis appearing here. And so, there's still things playing. These months are still vital.
Yeah.
And
two, it could take much longer than we think.
Oh, bite your tongue.
I
don't want to.
You never know. And two, now I'm starting to wonder about China being the new Babylon. Have you ever thought about that?
Well, China's going to be a dominant force in the War of Armageddon, so they have their role to play, and it hasn't.